Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's free demo hosted by Prevention Plus Wellness LLC, located here in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. And as I look out my window today, it is an absolutely gorgeous day, sunny and wonderful temperatures. And I hope it's nice where you're at. We had huge thunderstorms last night, and so everything looks great and green and healthy. So thank you for joining us. I know you're all busy. I know you're in transition from perhaps the end of your school year for many of you, going on to summer. So I hope you're all healthy and well. And again, thank you for joining us. My name is Dr. Chudley Werch. I'm CEO and founder at Prevention Plus Wellness. And today's session will be a brief one. I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time, but I'll be happy to stay as long as you want and answer any questions you want. So the purpose for today's demonstration is to let you see how the sport alcohol and cannabis program works. We have two versions, one for high school adolescents, another for middle school. The sport alcohol cannabis program is an adaptation of the evidence-based sport program, and therefore, like sport, PPW, the original sport, it is a one-session motivational intervention: screening, feedback, goal setting. Those are the three steps, can be implemented in any situation. It takes about 45 minutes or so, and the purpose is to motivate youth to avoid alcohol, cannabis, other drugs, and to begin the process of engaging and improving their health promoting behaviors: physical activity and sports, breakfast and nutrition, sleep, and stress control. So it's a whole health, positive youth development type of an intervention, very unique and very practical. So with the sport or the sport alcohol cannabis, you can get in and implement this in just about any setting and have perhaps a full public health reach of your youth population. So how did this come about? How did we create this modification, and how is it different than the original sport? Well, sport addresses largely alcohol. Now, throughout the content, there's a mention of cannabis or e-cigarettes or tobacco, but we had one of our longtime providers in New York City, in fact, come to us and say, hey, the state is legalizing adult recreational use, if you will, of cannabis. Can you integrate your marijuana prevention plus wellness program messages within the sport program? So that's what we did. We took sport and we integrated some of the marijuana messages, the cannabis messages, into the sport program. And we fit it in so that this new version of sport, the sport alcohol cannabis program, can still be implemented within a single session. So we had to take out some of the original sport messages and put in some cannabis messages. So that said, I will tell you, the original sport program, our research on that did show, even though it focuses largely on alcohol, did show outcomes on tobacco use prevention and cannabis prevention. So it appears that it's not necessarily needed to overtly address cannabis. Nonetheless, our providers in New York wanted us to say, hey, in addition to showing how alcohol interferes with being physically active, eating well, getting sleep, controlling stress, cannabis also interferes with that. So that's what we did with the new sport alcohol cannabis program. Does that make sense? If you have any questions, just type them in on the chat, and I'm happy to answer that for you. So we only need about 30 minutes, I think, today for me to show you what we have, but it's up to you, because if you ask a bunch of questions, if you have comments, we can extend this. So I want to show you how what this looks like. The script, all PPW programs for youth are scripted. So literally all you have to do is practice reading the script aloud, and then you're ready to go. We do also have online self-paced training for program implementers for the sport alcohol and cannabis program. Okay. And by the way, that training is awesome. Self-paced. You can take it anytime during the day, during the evening, weekends, whenever you want. Takes a couple hours, and it will walk you through the manual, give you the theory, give you the research, help you understand how to best use and implement your program with fidelity. So here it is. You're looking at the sport alcohol cannabis program. This is the middle school version, the young adolescent version, ages 10 to 14 or so, and then the high school version, ages 14 to 18 or so. By the way, in case you don't know this, we also have a sport alcohol drug single session parent training program, and we also have a sport alcohol and drug media campaign, multimedia campaign. So we got 3 levels of prevention: youth and parents, and a media campaign, sort of an environmental approach. So the content layout is pretty much the same as the sport program. As you can see, you've got section 1, introduction, directions for implementation. Section 3 is your individual lesson script. This allows you to present your lesson to one youth at a time. So, for example, that could be a general population, or it could be a high-risk population. It could be, for example, a lot of organizations in the country will use the individual script when they're presenting the lesson to a youth that were caught on campus smoking marijuana or using alcohol, what have you. Section 4 is the group script. If you have you presenting it to a group of 2 or more, you'd use the group script. Then that could be in school, out of school. It could be various classes, PE, it could be sports, it could be recreation, it could be camps, it could be juvenile justice. So again, anywhere youth are, you could provide the single session prevention plus wellness programs, whether the sport or the sport alcohol and cannabis, or on and on, all of our versions of our programs that address alcohol, cannabis, e-cigarettes, opioids, etc. Screening, survey, and goal plan is in section 5. Remember, PPW programs use an evidence-based practices screening and brief intervention. So there is a screening survey, and then there's a goal plan to initiate behavior change. We have built-in evaluation materials in section 6. So you will have a pre-post survey, you'll have an instructor survey, so you can assess outcomes, you can assess implementation quality. We even have a fidelity checklist. There's an online version of our goal plan for youth if you want to send that to them after the lesson to continue the process of goal setting, and we have the optional parent flyers. So I'm going to skip down to the group script and show you what this looks like and how you would implement this to a group of youth. That's 2 or more. Here it is. Sport, PPW, AC, alcohol, cannabis. Section 4, group the lesson script. So here it is. Literally, you read the script, and I'm sure many of you have already seen this already. You're probably implementing or seen some of our other programs or other demos, so you know how this is laid out. But for those of you that haven't, you've got content that's in brackets, like this first paragraph under the heading of introduction, and that's just a direction and a reminder. So if you're going to use a pretest, now's the time to implement it. You have the pretest in not just your physical manual or your digital manual, but you also have it in your digital download. So you can copy it to your computer, you can make copies of your pretest, and you can hand it out and collect your data, or you could ask us to send you a customized link or QR code to a pretest. You just show the code or the link to your youth, they open it, complete the pretest, you launch your lesson. At the end of the lesson, you can do the same with the post-test. You can collect your data online, which is much easier, reduces effort and time, and probably increases the quality of the youth responses. So you've got your, I know I've got a little something today in my throat. I apologize for that. But you've got this introduction, that directions. Here it is to show your slide. There's your slide, your introductory slide, sport, PPW, prevention plus wellness, alcohol, cannabis, middle school version. And here's your script, and you just read your script. Hello, today for the next several minutes, we'll be talking with you about the Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program. It's a really new and very exciting fitness and health program. And together, we're going to look at how your actions can make you healthy and also keep you healthy in the future. So that's it. That's as simple as that. You just read the script, lots of enthusiasm. Cannabis in this case, and other substances, and to also start improving their protective wellness behaviors, which will improve their mental and physical well-being over time. So the first part of the intervention after the introduction is the screening survey. You make a copy of the screening survey from your digital download, you hand it out, takes a couple minutes. There's the slide, which reminds you and cues the student as to what's happening here. They're going to complete a screening survey. And then after that, you provide feedback. That's the next step: screening, feedback, goal setting. So here's the feedback. Now the feedback follows the sequence of the screening survey question. So the first screening survey question was, what sports or physical activities did you play in the last year? There's even a slide there, a remembering, a rehashing, a restatement of the first screening survey question right there. What sports or physical activities did you play in the last year? And then you'll have this long list, and youth can raise their hands. And since you're going back a whole year and you're including any kind of physical activity, any kind of sports, any kind of chores, any kind of opportunities for that youth to move their body, there'll be a lot of hands being raised, which is going to support the positive social norm that, hey, my peers, my friends are physically active. That will support them and encourage them to get more physical activity. And then the feedback: what are the benefits of sports physical activities? Wonderful sports physical activities, a great way to get regular exercise. Sports physical activities are fun, help you keep healthy, help you feel good about yourself, give you lots of energy, and help you do better even in school. So that's the benefits. And then the next part, and this is where this the sport alcohol cannabis is different than the sport original program, because we're going to talk about how alcohol and cannabis interferes with being physically active. So you've got alcohol, cannabis, and active lifestyle don't mix. They can hurt your health and affect how well you do in sports physical activities. Using cannabis can actually harm brain development, lung function, risk for mental issues, etc. So that's the difference. I'll show it to you even a little bit more explicitly with the second feedback message about regular physical activity. And the question on the screening survey was, as you can see in this slide, do you participate in physical activity for at least 30 minutes, 4 or 5 times a week? For example, riding a bike, running, walking, swimming, etc. And then you highlight the benefits of regular physical activity. Here they are, some kinds of, regular benefits. Own lifestyle, again, so that they can reflect and increase awareness and become motivated to change. And then here we go. Here's the, again, substance use harms regular physical activity. And here you can see it. Alcohol can cause heart damage, cancer over time. Marijuana can cause brain, lung, heart damage, result in physical dependence. Cannabis impairs physical skills needed to perform in sports physical activities, drive, etc. So we have messages that address alcohol specifically and cannabis specifically. So that's how the sport alcohol cannabis intervention differs from sport. The original sport addresses alcohol primarily with a mention of cannabis, tobacco, whatever throughout. But the sport alcohol cannabis has specific messages addressing alcohol and cannabis. So it's a little bit more overt, concrete messaging for the youth. If you want to address alcohol and cannabis, the sport alcohol cannabis program is for you. Now, that said, but we'll have a lot of organizations throughout the country that'll implement the sport program. The original one addresses largely alcohol. And then they'll also implement the marijuana prevention plus wellness program, or they'll implement the vaping PPW or opioid PPW. Also, to make things even more exciting, we have a sport 3, which is a 3-lesson program. And the first lesson addresses alcohol, the second cannabis, the third e-cigarettes. So we actually have a couple of multi-session programs. So if you have youth, if you have access to youth in a school setting or whatever setting, after school doesn't matter, and you have access to them for 3 weeks, then the Sport 3 is a great program because you can address over a 3-week period alcohol, marijuana, and e-cigarettes. Or, as some organizations do, they'll have some youth receive the vaping program, another sport, another marijuana PPW, depending on the needs of the situation, the setting, and the youth. So that's it. I mean, you provide feedback on breakfast and nutrition and how alcohol interferes with breakfast nutrition. Here's how marijuana interferes with breakfast nutrition, same with sleep. And then you get down to alcohol and cannabis messages. So you can provide actual messages that, hey, guess what? Most youth do not drink or use cannabis, a social norm correcting message, healthy alternatives to drinking and cannabis use, recommendations for increasing wellness, and then onto the third part of your intervention, screening, feedback, and goal setting. And this is the goal setting part. And so you'll walk youth through setting goals to initiate behavior change and to start developing self-regulation skills and self-efficacy. We want to take a look at that goal plan. Here's what it is. We remind them of all the healthy behaviors they should engage in. And by the way, avoiding alcohol, cannabis, tobacco, e-cigarettes, prescription drug misuse, illegal drugs, and setting a health goal, a health habit goal, getting their signature, the instructor's signature, even a parent signature, a 7-day goal plan, a 7-day, I should say, what do we call this? Calendar log, I'm sorry, calendar log, and some important messaging about how to proceed from there. So that's it. I mean, that's the difference between the sport original program, the sport alcohol cannabis program. You still have the built-in evaluation materials. You have a pre-post survey that assesses behavioral intentions, not just of alcohol cannabis use, but cigarettes and e-cigarettes and opioids and alcohol, as well as the health habits, physical activity, nutrition, sleep, goal setting, etc. And also perceptions of harmfulness of all the 5 substances: alcohol, cannabis, cigarettes, e-cigarettes, opioids. So really good content and measures at the baseline, same measures at post-test. And then also at post-test, some open-ended items here, which are essential to get this qualitative data, to get your participating adolescents to give you feedback on what do they like best and what do they like least. What do they like best will give you some insights as to how to promote your program to other youth and parents and providers and funding agencies. What did they like least will give you hints as to how you can improve your program the next quarter, the next semester, the next year you offer it. Okay, I'm going to pause at this point. I think we're probably, we're 20 minutes into it. I want to see if you have any questions or if you want to see anything else about the program. There's the instructor survey. The instructor survey is to be collected by the instructor for themselves, assessing how well they feel they implemented every lesson. And by that way, you can track and monitor over time the quality of your program implementation. And we have a fidelity checklist as well. Okay, let's see if anybody has any questions. Will we be given all this information, including a recording? So Beth asked that. This is being recorded, Beth. So I will send you a link to the recording. And the only other thing I could share with you is if you're interested in a sample of the sport alcohol cannabis program, AC, Sport AC, just let us know and we'll send you. I'll give you a reminder to that in the email that I send you today. But you can also just go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, and there's a message tool there. You could click on that and then say, hey, I'd like to see a sample of the Sport AC program, and we'll send you a redacted sample. You could take a look at it. So, okay, well, that's good. Well, thank you so much, Beth. I appreciate that. So that's Sport AC, Sport 3, the 3 lesson. We, as I've alluded to, we also have the marijuana PPW program, opioid PPW program, vaping, that's the e-cigarette PPW program, all one session, motivational interventions. We have In Shape PPW for young adults, that's 18 to 25. We have the new opioid and stimulant young adult program for 18 to 25, and a brand new adult program. What are we calling that? I think it's called In Shape, wellness training or something like that for adults. And we'll be having a free webinar on that 2 weeks from today. So that we're really excited about because that's our first adult program. So that could actually be presented not just to adults in prevention treatment, but we really feel it could be presented to yourselves, as prevention and substance abuse and health professionals, because we all need to, as adults, consider not just our substance misuse, but also our level of physical activity and our nutrition and our sleep and our stress control because of our professional lives and our personal lives. So really it can be presented as a, personal, development kind of training, as well as in work sites, et cetera. So it's again, an overall wellness training for adults. And so we're excited about that. We'll be doing a free demo of that 2 weeks from today. That's our, I think, In Shape wellness training for adults, something like that. We have so many programs and we keep building and creating because we hear from you, prevention and health providers throughout the country and abroad, that, hey, we want this, we want that. So we keep trying to be responsive. So for example, just this week, we're taking our 3 original sport programs and we're translating the whole manual, slides and all, into Spanish. So we're doing that. So we're trying to give everybody, if we have a couple of providers say, hey, we'd like this, we try to be responsive. If we have a provider say, hey, I would buy this if you had it, we try to create it. So we want to have as many adaptations of our evidence-based practices, screening and brief intervention model that integrates, the avoidance of substance use with the promotion of health habits, which will improve overall mental and physical well-being. To give you an example, I just had somebody message us today and ask us, do you have any suicide prevention programs? So I said, hey, we don't have a program called Suicide Prevention Plus Wellness, but that said, we have had a number of posts and research that we've shared on our blog, and I would highly recommend you go to that because there's lots of best practices information on our blog at preventionpluswellness.com. And I said, the literature shows, it's quite clear, substance use, particularly misuse, increases risk for suicide, and physical activity and sleep and nutrition and stress control are associated with less risk for suicide ideation and attempts. So I think you can take any prevention plus wellness program and implement it, and it is likely to reduce the risk of suicide. We have never measured that. And I said to this person in our texting messaging that we could tailor our pre-post surveys and actually collect data on suicide ideation and attempts if you want to, while you implement one of our PPW programs. So I'm quite confident that, because we have had some studies where it does show that our programs improve mental health, both for adolescents and young adults. And we had one study where it did reduce occurrences of feeling sad and hopeless. So those are, indicators of mental health that are certainly linked to a suicide. So we think our programs, even though we don't have a program called Suicide Prevention Plus Wellness, we believe our programs address many of the major risk factors associated with suicide for youth and young adults. So something to think about. Any other questions or comments? Anything else you want to see about the sport, alcohol, and cannabis AC PPW Prevention Plus Wellness program? Let me just see if you have any other comments, any questions. Again, I always like to say God bless you guys for all you do for the youth and families in your regions. And let me know if we can help in any way. We're happy to do that. And do go to preventionpluswellness.com. You know what? Let me go ahead. I'll even pull it up for you guys so that you can see it, because really we have so many good things on our website. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to share it with you because I want to show you. I'm going to show you some of the resources that we have on our website. Here we go. So if you go to preventionpluswellness.com, if you go, you can see the banner on the top. You got a home page, youth and adult programs. I want to see the name of that new adult program. It's called, what is it called? In Shape Wellness Lifestyle Training for Adults. There it is. So all of our programs are here for youth, young adults, and adults. That's under youth and adult programs. We have our media campaigns and our parent programs here. We have training here. We have About Us here. Here are the resources. Do check this out. We've got some good resources. We got the news and blog, which has lots of good content. So do check that out. But we've got PPW program resources. I would go to that page. There's resources to share and learn more about PPW programs and training. But then there's also some tools there, even if you don't purchase any of our programs, that you could use to help promote, prevent substance use and promote healthy lifestyle behaviors among your population that you work with, both youth and adults. We've got a research evaluating PPW. We've got our logic model. We've got a program evaluation support, because we really believe in data-driven decisions. So we build in both outcome and process measures so that you get the feedback that you need to say, hey, guess what? We're really having this kind of an impact on our population, and we can do this to improve our programs in the future. We've got a sample grant proposal and even some new research evaluating PPW, both case studies that we look at over time, as well as other people doing research. And by the way, we're always looking for research partners. So we put out announcements every now and then where we're happy to go in with a grant with you to see if you can get funding to purchase prevention plus wellness programs. And then we have a evaluation partner with some people out of social work department at the University of Central Florida. They're the evaluator team, and they can help with ensuring that we have a good, strong evaluation so that you can get funded to implement your programs, strong evaluation so that we can actually collect more data and increase our awareness and knowledge of our evidence-based programs. And since we're creating so many new programs and adaptations, we want to continue to do that research. All right, so any other questions? Last chance to ask any questions, to make any comments. .com and let me know if we can help in any way. Take care. Have an awesome day. I see there's one more comment. I just want to say here it is. Thanks. Awesome. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate your positiveness and your feedback. Have a great day, everyone. You will hear from me. I'll send you all a link to this recording. Bye-bye.